G.I. Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review, and today I have picked a very special action figure, one that I particularly like. I have been wanting to review this guy for a very long time, and I really can't tell you why I haven't picked him for a review until now, because I just don't know. It's just how my mind works. It is Chuckles from 1987. He is the one and only action figure that we got from Chuckles in the vintage line, and it is a shame. Really, what can we have done with Chuckles for any action figure? He would have worked well with the DEA line had they not discontinued it, but he still would have done well with the line that succeeded it. They could have fit him in quite easily with anything. Given the 90s, they seemed to make up any rule that they wanted. Slap a new coat of paint on an action figure and call it version 2. So there you go. They could have put Chuckles in. So yes, we could have had another Chuckles. But they lost their sense of humor, so there was no chuckling in the 90s for G.I. Joe. Yes, 1987 was a weird year for G.I. Joe. They started getting more into the sci-fi element. That's when we were really introduced to the first neon colors for G.I. Joe. We were given sci-fi. He was their new laser trooper that replaced Flash. Then we got Cobra Law, which was incredibly sci-fi, and that really soured G.I. Joe for a lot of people. But I didn't mind it. The sci-fi element of G.I. Joe really appealed to me. I didn't mind sci-fi in G.I. Joe. Come on, they were firing lasers. They were going into outer space. It already had the sci-fi theme in it. So why not throw in monsters made up of biological elements? Come on, it appealed to your imagination, but people were wanting more of the military aspect of it. So that turned people away when the G.I. Joe movie came out. And that was kind of a shame. I like that movie. A lot of people don't. But that's what makes us great. Makes us wonderful individuals. If we all had the same opinion, life would be boring, wouldn't it? So, Chuckles was introduced to us in the 5-part miniseries, Arise Serpentor, Arise. He was a rawhide that Beachhead was training. We got Falcon. We were introduced to Falcon, his love interest, Jinx. Or was that in the movie? I'm getting them mixed up. Oh, the movie. Falcon, Jinx, Big Lob, who never saw an action figure until the Collectors Club, which was a shame too, because he was such a cool action figure, referring to himself in third person every time he did something. Big Lob shoots, Big Lob scores, ah, Big Lob is going to the latrine. You know, kind of annoying, but he was a cool character nonetheless. Then we had Tunnel Rat, Law and Order, and Chuckles, who never said a single word, so there was a theory that he may have been Snake Eyes. And I'm still playing with that idea. What do you think? Was he Snake Eyes? Blonde hair? Doesn't speak? very courageous. He did rip a missile off the side of a Havoc and charged right after Cobra, carrying that missile, and threw it overhead and destroyed a Cobra vehicle with said missile, despite the fact that the missile needed to be fired in order to create a detonation. But it's G.I. Joe. They could just throw it and it detonates on impact. Forget the physics of detonation. But kids don't think of that. They just think, hey, you just throw it and bam, there's an impact. You know, firing pin hits primer, boom, like a bullet, right? So that was how I thought it happened. I didn't know about inertia and things of that nature. So it worked for me. So anyway, yes, Chuckles is their secret agent of G.I. Joe. And we're going to get into that when we read his file card. So anyway, without further ado and much gum flapping, let's go ahead and take a look at this very cool action figure. I like this guy. He is pretty awesome. So here we go. Chuckles. Ha ha ha. Chuckles. All right, so taking a look at Chuckles, he is kind of getting away from your conventional military look. He does have your military look from his waist down, but up at the top. Business on the bottom, party on top. Let's put it that way. All right, so let's pop him off his figure stand here. Take his pistol off. I'll keep his holster on. Oh, it's easy to take off and put on, so let's just take that off. All right, taking a look at Chuckles himself. He is wearing a luau shirt. Nice button-down Hawaiian shirt made up in light blue with hibiscus flowers on it. Pretty nice. Kind of a decent looking fella. Sandy blonde hair, kind of a passive grin on his face. They did take the time to paint his eyes and eyebrows a different color, which is nice, done in light brown plastic. His arms are bare. He's not wearing a watch or wristbands. Around his waist, his left arm is pretty tight. I don't want to break that. He does have a web belt. It's done up in tan. He has some pouches around there. And the web belt does go around to back pockets here on his BDUs. He is sporting a very nice combat knife there on his leg. The sheath is painted on, and the straps do go all the way around his leg. Very nice feature. Sculpted in wrinkles in his BDUs. Pretty nice. I wouldn't call these BDUs. These are just more OD green pants. They have no bellows pockets, but they are bloused in his black boots. Some generic black boots. This arm is really tight for some reason. So anyway, getting back, he was kind of lackluster for accessories. That's part of the reason why I passed him up on the store shelves as a kid. I did see him and thought he was really cool. I did remember reading a Choose Your Own Adventure book that had featured him, but I kept on passing him up because of lack of accessories. He does come with this shoulder holster, which is made up of a soft plastic. done in brown. It does have this slip-through strap, and that just mounts right over his shoulder here. And secured around the back. Toy technology had improved by this time, so they had a lot of toys and a lot of Joes in 1987 that had this. Crazy Legs, his parachute, came with this type of technology as well. So you just slip that through and it stays on fairly well. So there's his holster, and it's nice that he does have a holster, a functional one. That was a pretty cool choice for him. And he comes with this fairly accurate pistol. To me, this looks like a 9mm, maybe a Browning, given the hammer here. You can see it's a rounded off hammer. It has a loop in it, beaver tail on it, and a diamond grip. This does look quite a bit like a Browning 9mm. And this would have been a walnut handle made up of walnut wood. Pretty cool 9mm pistol, if it is that. We'll go ahead and call it that, because that's what it looks like to me. This is my show, so that's what we're going to call it. And this is what Chuckles would have looked like on the package. The person I bought it from clipped this out and sold Chuckles with it, which is pretty cool. It's the first time I had opened him up since I had purchased him several years back. And these were some of the Joes that were available back then. Yeah, we had Monkey Wrench, Xandar, Zorana, Mainframe, Beachhead, Lifeline, Sci-Fi, Bat, Mindbender, Viper, Crocmaster, Techno Viper, Raptor, Fast Draw, and Sneak Peek. And so many more out there. Okay, his file card. Another picture of good old Chuckles there on the front, and another of him on the back there. Blue area there. H1, this was the second run, so this would have been 1988. He was on the pegs for 2 years, because that's just how they did things in the 80s. We got a nice run of these action figures for 2 years back in the 80s. In the early 80s, we had them up to 4 years sometimes. So it says codename Chuckles, undercover. File name Provost Philip M. Serial number 299585214. Primary military specialty, Criminal Investigations Division. CID. Secondary military specialty, Intelligence. He's a smart dude. He is from Little Rock, Arkansas. He is an E5. He is a 3-striped sergeant. Middle paragraph reads, Chuckles has been undercover for so long, nobody is really sure who he actually works for. He got his start in a hole-and-a-quarter operations at Southeastern Insurance Group in Fort Lauderdale, where he still feels he owes his main allegiance. He was an insurance investigator. That is actually a very, very important and tough job. All the insurance fraud that's going on anymore. Those guys uncover millions of dollars in fraud. Chuckles is a man's man. Every CID boy's favorite companion, not just because of his jocularity, of his perseverance in the field, but because he is so conscious about keeping up his cover, in quotes, that he'll volunteer his missions that nobody else wants to go on. He'll take the crap assignments. Chuckles reads down here in third paragraph, in quotes, Chuckles' natural likability and is his greatest asset. Yeah, I have a chair that's an asset. My asset's in it every day. He can sit around all day with a bunch of cobras grinning, cracking jokes, and punching shoulders while wearing a miniature transmitter that's being honed in on by the Joe team. Chuckles is aware of the consequences of being found out. He's also confident of his ability to fight his way out of a situation. So Chuckles is very good at his job. He depends on a very quirky and likable personality to get himself in and out of situations, which is perfect for an undercover agent. You have to be able to think fast on your feet and get yourself in and out of these situations that can and possibly will be a hazard to your health. And it does help to be likable and really unassuming to fit into those situations. If you look like a cop and smell like a cop, people aren't going to pay attention to you. You just have to be your average everyday guy, or quote-unquote Joe, to fit into a situation, to be undercover, where you are unassuming and just blend into your environment. Be a social chameleon, as it is, where you could adapt to your environment and fit in and just be a part of it. And it sounds like that's what Chuckles can be. He could be that guy that everybody likes. At the same time, he is digging up dirt on you while he's laughing and patting your shoulder and buying you drinks. He's gathering intel on you to slap the cuffs on you and put you in jail. And he'll do it with a grin on his face and say, hey, it's nothing personal, it's just business. And I'm sure it does bother him. Bothers Chuckles, because he's a man. He's a man. He has feelings. So, yeah, Chuckles, he's a really cool action figure. I love the design on him. I mean, he could pass his Magnum PI. I was looking for the other one that I have of him that I customized into a Magnum PI. Painted the hair black, and I painted a really thick black mustache on him. Made a Magnum PI out of this one. Could not find it. It bugged me. I went through most of my crates today looking for him. So I was going to, since I was doing a review, I was going to display both of them. So, yeah. Magnum Chuckles. Yeah. Very cool action figure. This guy doesn't get enough praise, doesn't get enough fanfare. He came out in a very good line of action figures that year. We got, like I said, we had Tunnel Rat. We also had Outback, another unsung hero of an action figure, very popular amongst collectors. He made his way into Night Force that year as well. So did Tunnel Rat. But yeah, why didn't they put Chuckles in Night Force too? He would have fit in. But Chuckles, because he is so unassuming, because he is that social chameleon, he blends into his environment and can disappear in plain sight. He was overlooked in the vintage line and forgotten about, and he didn't care. Chuckles didn't care. But I did. Because Yes, Chuckles is the man. So if you guys did have Chuckles as a kid, or if you have him now, let me know what you think. You know, share your thoughts with me down in the comments about this action figure. I love to hear from you guys. Yeah, that's my favorite part of this show, is to answer your comments. I do get back with you pretty quick. For some reason, eBay has been, or eBay on my mind. Yes, I run an eBay store. But YouTube has been dropping subscriptions. So I had a friend of mine get back with me the other night and ask me what the name of my channel was, because he hasn't seen my show for a while. Asked if I was still doing it and everything. So people haven't been getting my uploads for some reason. It's been getting dropped. So anyway, yes, please leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you guys. That is the really fun part of doing this, is to answer your comments. And please hit the like, share, and subscribe. That really helps out this channel, helps it grow, helps spread the word about these toys, and helps preserve the historical documentation of these toys, because we'll never see anything like these again. They are one of a kind. It was a one of a kind era for toys. We'll never see anything as explosive as as 80s and 90s and toy manufacturing, due to legislation. Because the market was just bombarded with toys. That's why we don't see toy commercials in prime time, because we were just overloaded. And cereal commercials in prime time, it's limited to only children-oriented TV, and you will even see those commercials very limited on, like Cartoon Network and the Disney Channel. It's very limited. It's not 24/7 bam 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 in your face like it was back in the 80s. There are too many complaints to the FCC by parents, kids seeing these, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. We grew up during that time. We know what it was like. See something new, I want it. It's just kids' nature. So, and toy manufacturers knew it, cereal manufacturers knew it, and that's why they were hitting us with it, and that's why there was legislation. So we won't see anything like that era ever again. We won't see toys like this ever again, due to new technologies. So these YouTube channels for these vintage toys are historical documents. That's what I'm starting to call it. It's preserving them. So please help share these, help share this channel, get the word around. I'm not doing it to boost, asking you this for an ego boost. Nothing like that. I just want to get the word around, to help share my love for G.I. Joe, and to spread the love for toy collecting to a younger generation, and to help preserve that need for boosting your imagination through play. So get kids away from video games and playing with plastic again. Get kids outside playing with sticks and rocks like we did. Stuff like that. So anyway, what else was I going to say? Anyway, midlife moment. So you guys take care. Really appreciate you stopping by the Toy Dungeon. It's been great. Anyway, you guys we'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Remember, be kind to yourselves. You deserve it. Take some time out. Treat yourself to something nice. You deserve it. Be kind to everyone around you. You never know what type of day someone is having. An ounce of kindness and charity goes a very, very long way, especially with the devastation that's going on in California right now with those fires. It's just tearing me up seeing that. The summers are just getting hotter and drier, and water is becoming more scarce out here in the Southwest, and having to use our precious groundwater to extinguish these fires is not helping any. It's just depleting groundwater even more, and we're getting less and less rain. Arizona is in the longest drought in history right now, 125 days without any rain. Plenty of snow, though, up north, so we'll at least have the snow melt. But anyway, be kind to your animals. You know nothing but unconditional love. Give that favorite pet of yours an extra treat. Let them know how much you love them. So we'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Until then, man, yo, Joe.